it sort of comes back in on the loop where, see this little bit of the that is the end of each verse, and it comes back on this loop where the beginning of each verse starts pretty much the same. So that's the intro. Verse 1, the first line, we're still on that E chord, so 2nd fret, 1st string, open 2nd string, 1st fret of the 3rd string, 2nd fret of the 4th string. Play that twice. So we'll do this with context to the end of the last riff. So hammer on, play like that, and then you play the same chord, but not as fast. And then it's open 1st, 2nd, 3rd, open 5th, 4th, and 3rd, and then we do that bend on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, then open 2nd and 3rd strings, and then back to that E chord, played 3 times. So far, including the end of the last riff. And this is where we get into where Bobo starts singing. So it's 3rd string, 2nd fret, slide up to the 4th fret, then play the 2nd fret again. So it's, and then 1st fret, 3rd string, hammer on the 2nd fret on the 1st and the 4th strings, and then you play, so you're slowly making up that E chord again. You're already playing the 3rd string, hammer on the 1st and 4th strings, and now you strum that last open string with the rest of those strings. And on the last time you try and avoid that 1st string. As well as that, you pull off this finger on the 4th string to open and avoid that 1st string as well. So it's the 2nd, 3rd and 4th strings of the E chord you're playing with the 4th string open. And then you hammer back onto the 2nd fret, and then you play the chord once more. And then you do a very similar little riff. So this is the 2nd line of the 1st verse now. Slide from the 2nd to the 4th fret on the 3rd string, 1st fret again on the 3rd, hammer on to the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and now you're playing an E dominant 7, so not the E major chord from before. In fact, we did just play this now when we hammered on. So the E7 is basically open 1st string for the E chord. So not, but very bluesy. Right, so 2nd line of the 1st verse begins like the middle of the 1st line. So here's that E7, so you play, so that's 5 times in total, and then you do 2nd fret, slide up to the 4th fret on the 3rd string, and then open 2nd string, and then slide from the 3rd to the 5th on the 2nd string, and now you do a sort of little alternate picking between 2 notes that are the same but on different strings, so they're in unison. So it's slide from the 3rd to the 5th on the 2nd, then 2nd fret of the 1st string, and then starting with the 5th fret of the 2nd string, and then going to the alternate, you play it 6 times, so 5th, 2nd, 5th, 2nd, 5th, 2nd. And then back to that 3rd string, slide from the 2nd to the 4th, and then down to the 2nd again. And then instead of making the chord down here, you're doing it up at the 4th and 6th frets. So 3rd string, 4th fret, 6th fret of the 4th, so that you can reach the 5th fret on the 1st string. And you do a little bit of a bend on that. And you've got to try not to bend it off the fretboard because it's a bit of an awkward position. after the third bend, you play the 5th fret of the 2nd string, and then hammer on the 3rd string at the 7th fret, and then on the 5th fret of the 2nd, where you should still have your finger, play that and slide down, then open 2nd and 3rd, 3rd string, slide from the 2nd to the 4th, then you want the 3rd fret of the 2nd string again, then double stop, so 2 together, 5th and 4th strings open, then open 3rd string, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and you pull off. So 2nd fret, 3rd string, pull off to open. And it's not that kind of speed hammer on pull off for this, although it is in the next riff, but this one is, you kind of hold it for a bit. And the pull off is just a sort of tiny little inflection just before the next note. That's the first half of the first verse, so we'll go through just those 3 lines now, and I'll do it slowly for you. Now on to the second part of the first verse.